how I'm gonna pop off today. It's so much on my mind, as I observe us in real life, in real time, and then I observe us through this internet, It's a lot on my mind. I ain't no internet type of dude, to say the least. But it's it's enlightening, to say the least. I say that because whoever show up is probably one or two reasons if you showing up here. Salute to the Common Conscious family and Soul Tribe. Salute to the new subscribers. Welcome to the family. Salute to the peekaboos and passerbys. Y'all can get something from this too. You hear me? But whoever show up, regardless of what you may think your reasons for showing up is, it's only one or two reasons that whoever show up. One is to hear something that I say that you can help yourself by, or that may be assistance to you, or to find a problem in something that I say. Now, for those who come here and try to find a problem in something I say, that don't say nothing about me. That only say something about you and where you at in the space that you listening from. But don't think that I don't do the work. And I say that because a lot of times, for those of us who moving moving from a positive space, who operating from a space of love, you hear me, to say the least, that's operating from a place of light, to say the least, it really don't be hitting home with the narcissists. It really don't be hitting home with the gaslighters. It really don't be hitting home with the love bombers, because in a lot of things that I say and people like me have to say, it be a lot of exposure. It's triggering, to say the least. You hear me? And for those who stay long enough to be triggered, it make you have to look at yourself in ways that you either haven't looked at yourself or you're not willing to look at yourself, to say the least. But don't think I don't do the work, because the things that I share for a reason. You hear me? Because I really do, and I don't do this because I have to, I do this in hopes that it may be of assistance, that it may be of help, to say the least, that it may be of enlightenment, that it may be of reflection, wherever needed. But I also do what I do and what I have to share and what I have to say, because I ain't always been the best person. You hear me? Not by far. And if I had been, I probably wouldn't even be doing this. You hear me? I love everybody, but I don't fuck with everybody. Or to even specify, to even make that more clear. I love everybody I know, but I don't fuck with everybody that I know. Just like some of y'all. And I don't rock with phony people. I don't know who need to hear this or who need to hear that. But if you know people that don't really rock with you, stop letting them pretend like they do. You hear me? Matter of fact, it's best that you get them totally and completely out your energetic field. In other words, keep them out your face. Um, and I'm saying these things that I'm saying because, like I started in the beginning. You know, I observe us in real life, and I observe us through this internet. You hear me? And the internet got a lot of people comfortable. You know, the internet has made people way too comfortable, to say the least. And I say that because everybody don't come from the internet culture. I don't come from the internet culture. You hear me? And I was outside before outside was a term used to portray an image, you know. And if we know anything about images, in most cases, they're not real. It's only a portrayal of what we would like to appear to be. You hear me? But it ain't real. It's just the image. Images can lie. And images can have us thinking that what we may be viewing or what we may be witnessing or is what's really there. In a lot of cases, that's not the case on the internet. More so what I see on the internet is that it has the capacity to make people think they know you personally. If they don't know you personally, they have people thinking they know you personally that don't know nothing about you at all, just about what you or what we portray on the internet. You hear me? But since I'm not no actor, you know, what I share and who I am in this present space by way of these videos that I have to post on the internet is about as close as you gonna get to who I really am in real life, in the space that I'm operating from today, you know. But what happened to things like, if you don't have nothing good to say, don't say it at all? Because on the internet, people will say anything and everything out their mouth just to get some attention. What happened to things like respect your elders? Because there's no respect for the elders on the internet or in real life. You know, I see 10, 12-year-old, even younger, groups of kids walking up and down the block, you know, cursing, however you want to use that word, like a cowboy. You hear me? Walk past adults or elders and don't even change it up. Keep the same conversation, whatever they talking about, F this, F that, this, so forth, you know, no respect. What happened to things like treat people how you want to be treated? At least until you see that you need to make some adjustments. What happened to things like that? What happened to things like, if you don't know what you talk about, or if you don't know the facts of what you talk about, don't speak on it? What happened to things like that? It's so much value that has been desecrated, you know, in this time where everybody's supposed to be woke, everybody's supposed to be evolving, everybody's supposed to be growing, everybody's supposed to be elevated. And it's more ignorance in this era of being woke than anything else. There's more ratchetness in this era of being woke than anything else. You know, it's more toxicity in this era of being woke more than anything else, you know, and the projections come with it, you know. The projections come with it. It's a lot. It's a lot be going on behind the scene by way of projections, you know. It's just things that be on my mind, you know, things that I'm observing, you know. Like I said, I ain't always been the best person, and I ain't been perfect at all. You hear me? I was on, to be more bluntly, I was on a fast track to, you know, to hell, if you want to call it that. You know, I was on a fast track to hell. You hear me? Until I started making some changes. You know, I was on a fast track towards death until I started making some changes. I was on a fast track to possibly spending the rest of my life incarcerated or in a penitentiary, you know, and many other things until I made some changes. So, to whoever need to hear it, ain't nothing wrong with change, you hear me? Ain't nothing wrong with change. And if you like me and been a young fool, ain't nothing worse than not making no change and becoming an old fool. And it's a lot of old fools out there, you hear me? Still poisoning the minds of the generations that's coming after, and don't have no inclination to make no change, don't have no inclination to be any type of positive influence. And I say that because I'm passionate about that, you know. It means a lot to me, you hear me? I see us as human beings, male and female, throwing our lives away, you know. I see us, male and female, throwing other people's lives away, you know. I see us destroying ourselves, and my mind be trying to make sense of it, but really my mind can't make no sense of it, because at some point, at some time, you figure that we'll be snapping out certain phases. We'll be snapping out certain temperaments. We'll be snapping out, we'll be shedding a lot of those things that was only needed while it was needed, you know. But I'm convinced that in this in this war that we in, and it's more spiritual than physical, because we are spirits covered in flesh, having this human experience. It's more spiritual than anything. And you know, angels and demons for what it is, you know. Angels and demons for what it is in this war. You hear me? But one thing about truth and how it affects us, impacts us, or not. One thing we all should be experienced to know is truth ain't gonna be pleasing when it make itself known to us. Truth ain't always gonna feel good when it make itself known to us. In most cases, and what truth show us, if we being honest, if we in a space to be honest with ourselves, you know, it's gonna show us something that we need to correct about ourselves, you know, or it's gonna show us things that can be improved about ourselves. And in some cases, just like I didn't like it, you probably won't like it neither. But that don't have nothing to do with what truth, when it appears, comes to do. You hear me? But it's what we do with it. It's how we perceive it. It's how we receive it. You know, that will be a catalyst for us to do anything if we're gonna do anything. And I just wanted to share that, you know. Don't forget that we get to pick and choose. You hear me? And we ain't gotta hold on to people. We ain't gotta hold on to things. We ain't gotta hold on to places. If something within us is encouraging us, is stirring within us to do something different with ourselves. You hear me? Don't be no crash dummy just because you're concerned about how you're gonna be viewed, how you're gonna be accepted, or if you'll be accepted if you start to do something different with your life. It's your life. Don't forget that you get to pick and choose. You hear me? Don't forget that you get to pick and choose. Who time it is to let go? Who time it is to let go of the past? That you living in your present. That you trying to portray in your present. It is time to envision a new story. See, I hope I said something that especially those who in the streets. I've been in the streets. I was in the streets for most of my life. You hear me? You know, that's why I share things like I was on a fast track to death. I've been incarcerated a few times, maybe a little more than a few. You hear me? But I said these things for a reason because it was stirred in me just to speak on it. You know, it's okay to make some changes, man. Whoever need to hear that. It's okay to make some changes. Don't stay stuck, because what you attached to want you to stay stuck, because they stuck, because they don't want to make no changes. You hear me? Let that shit go. The past is a complex thing. It can hold for us all the core elements of who we have come to be, our very essence and identity. Sometimes we can be conflicted about our story and how it has unfolded. Maybe we identify with one aspect more than another. Or maybe we have rejected the past completely. However it may be, how we view the past can have a drastic impact on how we view the present. If you have pulled this card, and which I have, then it may be time to look at how your beliefs about the past might be shaping your actions in the present. Ask yourself if the past have created an identity that you no longer wish to claim. If I change, so can you. Is there a label that you or others have placed upon you that is no longer serving you? If your answer is yes, then responsive journaling might be good to help you work this thing through. Ask yourself how this label came to be and how you might be able to release it. And I know what that's like. You know, the label, the titles, you know. we get so attached to the labels and the titles, and we think that the labels and the titles make us who we are. And people will hold on to the labels and the titles to keep you right where you at. Ask yourself how this label came to be and how you might be able to release it. Make sure to pay attention to your self-talk around this label. Some of us think, or have been led to believe, that we are the labels that we identify with. What might you be telling yourself on a daily basis to reaffirm this unwanted identity? Ask yourself. Ask yourself how you can release this identity today. See, I was talking about images, you know, the images we portray, the images we portray in real life and the images we portray on the internet. They're not real. Images lie. People lie. You hear me? And people will think they know us through the images that we portray and don't really know us at all. And then we get lost in the images. We get lost in the identities, you know, for whatever reason. Clout, street cred, whatever the case may be. But if anything that I have said or anything that I have read is speaking to you, check yourself on that. You hear me? Feel good for no reason at all. Be unapologetically yourself. And don't be afraid to be unapologetically yourself. You know, I am authentically me. It's an honor to be here. My name is Sawu. Stillness, good things, love and light, health and wholeness to the Common Conscious family and soul tribe. I love y'all. Peace.